Hi friends. After the Wuhan and Mamallapuram informal meets where the Indian and the Chinese premiers met each other, questions on India-China relations with respect to international relations becomes prospective both in the prelims and mains point of view. So today we'll discuss the topic holistically India and China relations. When the US relations started with the bitterness due to non alignment and now with a clear friendship, the Chinese relations has moved from friendship Hindi Chini bye bye to modus vivendi, wherein both the countries have to accommodate each other to move peacefully in the world. This is the relation with respect to India and China. And China's GDP is almost 12 trillion and it is five times that of India's GDP. And the defense expenditure of China can say it is almost 150 billion and it is three times larger than that of India. So there are four C's with respect to India-China relations, which are conflict, competition, cooperation, and containment. So every era moves in one of these four stages. And what is the current era? We'll know in this video. And you can see what is the power differential between India and China. See, China is almost five times powerful than India, and its growing global influence and international exposure makes it even more irrelevant for it to accommodate India's concerns. Then why are those summits and why do the premiers shake hands and discuss about a multipolar world? We'll find out. And there is a Chinese adage which tells that one mountain cannot contain two tigers. Yes, this is obviously true. See, there is an order to study any international relation that is with any country. So initially you have to find out what is the current happening, that is in introduction, and then you have to find out the convergences wherein both the countries have a similar view. Those will be in convergences, and next you have to find out the divergences between the two countries, and you have to discuss the recent affairs in detail. You have to study it in detail. So this will be the order to study international relations with respect to any country. So be it US or Russia or Pakistan, whatever. So now let's come to convergences. So when you take the case of convergences, with Russia almost most of the points are converging and the divergences are very few. But with respect to China, convergences are very less and divergences are almost double in number. So, what are the converging views between India and China? The first one is with respect to multipolarity. See, after the World War, there was a bipolar world wherein the power center was between US and Russia. And after the disintegration of Russia in 1991, the polarity shifted to unipolar world wherein US had the hegemony. And now there is an uncertainty with the election of Trump. There is a multipolar era which is about to come, and this is what India and China wants. So, in this point, that is multipolar in the sense the power centers will be in different places, not with a single country or with two countries, but with regional groups. And this is what makes India and China converge in this point. And secondly, they also converge in environmental issues, especially with respect to climate change agreements and other views. They also feel that there is a principle called common but differential responsibility. Yes, we have started developing only after independence, that is after 1950s. But the developed nations, they have exploited the globe so much. So the everyone has a responsibility, but the responsibility is not equal because they have exploited so much. They have to take more responsibilities. This is what both India and China means. And with respect to WTO, again, India and China, they are aligned together. In what way? You have the agreement on agriculture, wherein there is a subsidy. You can see the developed countries are allowed with 5% subsidies and the developing nations with 10% subsidies. But the 5% subsidies itself is huge and enormous because you can see in the case of US, 5% for cotton farmers, it is much more because the number of farmers is few and 5% would be a huge amount. And this affects the cotton farmers in South Africa and other developing nations. So this is what India and China wants. It wants to reduce the subsidies given by the developed countries, and they also converge in other areas with respect to WTO. And one more important area wherein both India and China converges is at Afghanistan, because both India and China wants to have a stable Afghanistan. And in this point, Pakistan differs, because Pakistan, it wants to take the control of Afghanistan, but India and China wants Afghanistan to be stable. For India, Afghanistan has to be stable for it to access the Central Asian countries and to have a market. And for China, it wants the Xinjiang province to be free, because the terrorists from the Afghanistan, the Uyghur militants, they filter into that region, and that is disturbing China. So with respect to a peaceful Afghanistan, both these countries converge with each other. We'll have part 2 to this video, wherein we will discuss the divergences and the recent issues, and also the what is the strategy India has to apply to China. Thank you.